Hi everyone, Joel here again, and today we're looking at Scratch and introducing Scratch to the grade 3 and 4s. That's what I've been doing. So I'm going to run you through the introductory project that I did with them, and this is basically taken from the Scratch website in the help section. It's the starter project. It's pretty much exactly the same as what you see there, but if you prefer to see a video tutorial rather than reading up on a Scratch resource, then this is where you go. So here's the Scratch website, and you'll get there at scratch.mit.edu. And I've already signed in with my account, so it'd be good to create your own account. I have in the past created an account for my actual class, and they all work under the same account. I don't have any names on it, that sort of thing. So I'm going to click on Create to start my project. And what comes up here is the editor window. And what you're looking at here is four main sections. The first one over here is called the stage. This is where things happen, and we always start off with this cat. We can change that, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. But here is the stage here. Down here is the collection of characters in your project, and as you see right now, we just have our one cat. And in Scratch, the characters are called sprites. So this is a sprite, and this is where we get more sprites here. You can take a photo, you can upload one that you've done, you can draw one, and there's also a library. In this section over here is where you control the backgrounds. Scratch calls them backdrops, and it's a similar sort of thing. You can use the library, you can draw one, you can upload, or you could use the camera. In the middle here is probably the most important section. These are where all your programming blocks are, and they're all color-coded for different categories. So right now we're looking at the blue ones, which is called motion, and this is all about how the character moves or where it's positioned. We also have looks, how the character looks, how it sounds, some other more advanced ones like pen and data. We have the events tab here, control. So we've got a whole lot of things here, and all you do is if you want to put in a block, you just drag it and you drag it into the right part here. This is the script window. This is where you build your scripts one block on top of another. So you drag your blocks here. You can edit them by clicking inside the little circle here and changing that number, and if you don't want it anymore, you can just remove it by dragging it back into the block window, and that disappears. Okay, so I'm going to get started, and the first thing I'm going to do is to change the background because the white background is not very helpful. So I'm going to go over here to my backdrops, and I'm going to change the stage by clicking on the library button. And the one that I'm looking for is sort of like a dance stage. So I'm going to go into themes where it says music and dance, and this spotlight stage here is the one that I want. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'll click on OK. That will load it into the Scratch window. So here we have the background, and I'm just going to move the cat where I want him to start. And you can see here that the window's changed a bit. We've gone from scripts to costumes. I'll talk about costumes a bit later, but I'm going to switch back to scripts for now. And the first thing I'm going to do is to go back to the motion section, and I'm going to get this one here, move 10 steps, and I'll drag that in. So you'll notice whenever I click on that, the character will move 10 steps. So let's see how it works. There we go. 10 steps isn't very long. We can do it again, we can do it again, we can do it a lot of times. Okay, so that's fine. I'm just moving back. And then what I want to happen is I want a sound to play. So let's look at the sounds. And there are various things here that we can do. I'm going to choose this play a drum and drag that in and just clip that to the top one there. So he's going to move 10 steps and play a drum. Now it says play drum number 1, and that's the one that I want, but I'll just click on this arrow to show you there are up to 18 different drums here that we can use, and they can go for a different length of time. We're just going to select number 1 for now. And now I want the cat to move back. Now there is, if we look at the motion, there is no moving back at all. But not to worry, you can do it. I'm going to move this, move 10 steps over here and clip that. But I don't want him to move 10 steps. I want him to move negative 10 steps, which will move him backwards 10 steps. And then I'm going to get one more sound, play another drum. I'll bring that in. And for this drum, I'm going to choose number 4, which is the crash cymbal. So let's have a look at our script. Move 10 steps, play the drum, move back 10 steps, play the drum. Let's see what happens when I do that. And that's how it works. Nice. Now, I want that to be repeated. And rather than drag all these blocks and do it 10 times like I want to, in the control section, in the yellow blocks, there is a repeat bracket. I'm going to bring that in. It already says 10, and that's what I want, so that's perfect. And as I click and move towards my scripts, you can see that it starts trying to wrap around different areas. Now, I want it to wrap around the whole thing. So my script says, repeat 10 times everything inside the bracket, which is move 10 steps, play the drum, move back 10 steps, play the drum. Now let's press that and see how that goes. Perfect. Now, I'm going to get him to say something. So I'm going to go into my Looks tab, and here we have the Say blocks. There's also Thinking blocks, but the Say blocks. Now, he doesn't actually speak, this cat, but he will have a little speech bubble up that says whatever it is that you want him to say. So I'm going to drag that in, and I want him to say this at the beginning. So I'm going to move this right at the top and clip that in. And instead of saying hello, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to change that to watch me dance. And he's going to say that for 2 seconds, and then it will go through the program. Let's click that and see what happens. Perfect. Now, we need a control. We need some sort of button to press for the user who's watching this to start the project. So we're going to go into Events, and over here at the top it says when the flag is clicked. Now this flag refers to this flag here at the top, because you've got to understand that when people are playing your animation or your game, this stage is what they see. Unless they click inside to see the script, this is really all they see. So this button is important. So I'm going to click over here and bring it to the top. So now you can see when the flag is clicked, the whole thing will go. Okay? So I won't demonstrate that, we've already seen it already, but that will be what happens. Now, at the same time, I want the user to be able to do other things. So I'm going to bring this one in here, where it says when the space key is pressed. But instead of space key, I'm going to click on that and change that to right arrow. When the right arrow is pressed, something happens. Now, this will happen any time when the user is watching my animation, not just when the program is running through, because it's not attached to anything else. And what I want is I want it to change the color. So I'm going to go to Looks, and there is a section here, Change Color Effect. I'm going to bring that in, and it says by 25. That's enough. That's fine. So I'll click that and drag that in. Now I could change that. You can change a whole lot of different kind of effects here, but color is what I want. So let's just press the right arrow now and see what happens. And I'll press it again. And I'll press it again, and press it again, and press it again, and press it again. Okay? That's working beautifully. Now I'm going to go back to my events, and then this time bring this in again. And instead of space, I want the left arrow. And this time, when the left arrow is pressed, the cat's going to make a sound. So let's look at my sounds. The sounds are all here, and right now only meow is the only sound that is included with this character. That's fine. So I'll bring that in and I will clip that on. So if I press the left arrow, makes that meow sound, and the right arrow changes, left arrow makes the sound, and of course pressing the flag will make the cat dance like he was doing. Okay. So now that I've done that, I think the cat needs a partner. So I'm going to go to my sprite library here, and I'm going to click over here where it says choose sprite from library. And what I'm looking at is I'm trying to find a dancer for this sprite. So I'm going to go up to dance and see what I've got. I think I'll choose Cassie Dance here. And before I press OK, just take note, it says she has 4 costumes. Now I did promise you that I'd talk about costumes. So I'm going to bring Cassie in and we'll explain about what costumes mean. I'm going to move her into position. I'll move her here. And I'm going to click on the Costumes tab. So what the costumes are different poses within the same character. So here you can see she's got her left arm raised up like this. This number 2 switches her movement. This number 3 again, and this number 4 again like that. So what I want this character to do is to keep switching so it looks like she's doing some sort of funky dancing. Okay, so that's my Cassie dancer, and I'm going to go back to scripts. Now, you'll notice all the blocks that I've just done have gone. There's nothing there. And the reason is because we've selected the Cassie dancer here. If I click on Sprite, now you see this is everything that relates to the cat. Okay, but when I click on the girl here, we haven't told her to do anything, so there's nothing there. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the flag, because when I press the flag, I want the girl and the cat to do something at the same time. So the same button to be pressed when the flag is clicked. I'm going to get her to make a sound, so I'm going to go over to here and play a sound. Now, her sound is pop, which sounds like, let's have a listen. Sounds like that. Now, pop's not really helpful, and it is the only one that's there, but we can bring in some new sounds. So I'm going to go over to my sound tab, and I'm going to go over here where it says choose sound from library. There's a whole bunch over here. There's a lot of them. What I'm looking for is a bit down further is the human beatbox. Let's have a listen to what that sounds like. That'll do. So I'll click on that and I'll press OK, and that will bring that in there. So now I have this one. And I'm going to go back to my scripts, and when it says play sound pop, I can now change that to the one that I've just put in, which is the human beatbox. Okay, then I want to see some dancing. So I'm going to ask her to go to the next costume, and I'm going to ask her to wait. Now that's really important, and that's something that a lot of kids don't get. I'll just move that wait over here. They don't get it because they just want to go to the next costume, next costume, next costume. But if she's doing it so, if there's no wait time, it's either too fast to be seen or just too fast to be anything remotely realistic. So there needs to be some sort of wait time there. And of course, I'm going to bring a repeat in, but instead of repeating 10 times, I'm going to get her to repeat it forever. See what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to now attach all of that to here. So let's have a look at what the girl will do. When the flag is clicked, it'll play the sound, and then she will start dancing. She'll go next costume, wait a second, next costume, wait a second, next costume, wait a second. Okay, plus the cat will do everything the cat will do when they press the flag button. So let's see how that goes. Okay, well, there's a few problems here. One of them is, I think, she keeps on dancing. I don't think the repeat forever was a good choice. So I'm going to just take those two blocks out. I'm going to take this one and throw it away. And I'm going to get this repeat over here. And repeat 10 is fine. Let's put this inside. Let's put this up here. Okay, so now she's only repeating it 10 times. But I also think she was dancing too slowly. So 1 second is too slow. So here's where a bit of maths comes in, because what's less than 1? Well, fractions are less than 1, and we express those in terms of decimals. So I'm going to get her to wait 0.3 seconds. Okay, let's see what happens now. That looks good. Yeah, she finishes way too quickly. In fact, I'm going to try doubling that to 20. So a lot of this is trial and error. Try something, see if it's working the way you want it to. Let's press play again. Okay, I don't mind when she finishes dancing, but she does finish dancing after the music has stopped. So 20 is probably too much. I'm going to change that to 15, and I'll try it one more time. Okay, good. Happy with that. All right, so that is my basic little tutorial on how to get started with Scratch. We've got a whole lot of different kind of coloured blocks there so that kids can sort of get an idea of how things work. And then I've just told my kids, go at it. You can either try and recreate what I just did, or do something completely different and explore the blocks, completely up to you. And they definitely had an awesome time doing it. So that's my first lesson in introducing Scratch to kids. Hope you enjoyed it.